guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped and welcome to Brands Hatch. It's very noisy at the moment because we're here on a test day and the Formula Ford boys are going around making lots of noise. But I'm here today on a video I've been trying to hook up all year with a mate of mine, Damien Bradley, and his absolutely awesome Subaru Legacy Hillclimb car. I can't quite believe it, but not only are we going to go around Brands with Damien driving us, showing us what this car can do, but as you can see, I've got my Spider-Man outfit on and I'm down as a driver and I'm going to get to drive the car as well. It's a little bit intimidating. I think it's running something like 800 horsepower. It's incredibly quick. Today is going to be a hell of a lot of fun, and I'll get Damien on camera talking about that car because it really is very, very special. Now then guys, happy? Okay, welcome to a completely bonkers car. I'm not sure how much you're going to want me to Okay, not on the yeah, try that.
I had no idea just how noisy this car would be, and the mics I was using just had no chance at all, so apologies for that. So I'll give you a little bit of voiceover. Even on this first lap, the aggression of the car, the acceleration, the braking, the turning was just unbelievable. But as we come out of this corner into this compression, we've just got some tyre rub and you can see the smoke coming into the cabin. And straight away Damien knew that there was a bit of a problem, so we had to think about coming back into the pits to get that sorted.
We have to go in and check those tyres. Some tyres? Yeah, tyres, yeah. It's got some go, hasn't it? Yeah, that's the lowest power setting. Wow. Just going to check that rear tyre, it might just be a little bit of rubbing.
Is that what all the smoke was?
Yep.
All good?
Yeah, just a little bit of rubbing. We might have to do a little bit of body work. As in, we might trim it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's the compression.
Yeah.
The compression at Paddock Hill Bend is quite extreme. It's unlike anywhere else, really.
Yeah.
It's quite different to experience that. Maybe need to stiffen the suspension slightly. There you go.
I'll get on back on there for you. Yeah. So that was in the lowest power setting?
That's the minimum power setting, so that's the absolute lowest it'll go.
And that's one of the fastest accelerating cars I've ever sat in.
We'll have another go. And then we'll come back in and give you a try. get too much tyre smoke. As I said, it's that compression at paddock hill.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll get you can get yourself strapped in and I'll adjust that rear arch.
Yeah.
Give you a bit of time to get yourself sorted.
Cool. That's insane.
It's great fun, isn't it?
The punch out of the corner is insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit, that's bad.
You okay?
Yep.
Nice and uncomfortable.
Well, it's a racing car.
Good.
Racing cars are always uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Well, especially when they're not yours. If it's yours and it's uncomfortable, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
So that's the minimum power setting.
On the last second out there, I turned it up a couple of clicks just to give you a bit of an experience as to what it was like. Got a bit hairy into paddock hill, turned it down a couple of notches. Need to get that rubbing sorted out before I actually push on.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's that's the minimum power minimum power setting. So the first laps were minimum power setting, yes.
Yeah.
Power on, ignition on. Wait for the screen to show you that it's in neutral. Steering is quite heavy, but it is power assisted. Yeah. So, okay, so that's it. We'll say clutch down, which will then give you first gear.
Let me try and talk you through my first laps. Damien's quite keen for me to take it easy to start with. First thing you'll notice, I'm using my clutch on the way up, even though Damien was flat shifting. Damien had asked me to do that. You can flat shift in this car, but only when you're at full throttle and at maximum RPM. So just to be safe, I was using the clutch on the way up, and then you use the clutch on the way down. I was quite cramped in the car, so even just using the clutch was fairly tricky. The punch out of the corners, the acceleration was like nothing I'd ever experienced before. But straight away you get this incredible feeling of confidence. It had so much grip. Right down into second gear to come round this tight right-hander. As we come out of the right-hander, there's a little compression that we were suffering from wheel rub, and then you come down the straight and you accelerate through. I think on this first run I got up to about fourth gear, then down into third, slow down for my first real drive through Paddock Hill, an infamous corner, off camber, downhill, a dip at the bottom, and then accelerate up into the hairpin at Druids. Such an iconic circuit this, my first ever laps, it was really quite something special. Already I'm feeling a little bit more confident in terms of accelerating out of the corners. I think this is round Graham Hill to the right. You've got a short straight where you can give it some squirt, and then there's a left and right. I want to use as much of the circuit as I can, up on the curbs on the left hand side, over to the right, down into second gear, again for the tight right hander, coming round to the end of another lap. I'm now actually going to jump forward about 3 or 4 laps. By now I'm getting much more confident in the car. Actually down the straight now, I aim to go up into 5th gear, and down into 3rd Paddock Hill. Much more confidence around here, but if you get it wrong here, it's a really big accident. 3rd, up into 4th gear, then sharp on the brakes, really strong on the brakes, firm pressure through your brake pedal, round Druids, and then huge acceleration out, up into 3rd, stay in 3rd, round this left-hander. At this point my receiver for my wireless mic had actually come off of the mounting due to the G-forces. But such an amazing feeling to drive the car. I've always wanted to drive a car with a proper sequential gear shifter like that. So cool. Really confident now. All the way up, I think I grabbed 5th gear maybe, no, I stay in 4th. We're just starting to get some heat into the tyres now, time to come into the pits.
What a weapon!
You got to grips with it very quickly, yeah. Just stay there and hold the brake.
Wow.
Give it a flip of the throttle.
Yeah.
Flip the throttle. Clean the plugs off.
Bloody hell, mate. What a f***ing car. Oh my god. I thought I was shaky after the NASCAR, but I never got to really open that up. That was fucking insane.
You got to grips with it very quickly.
Wow. That's the coolest car I've ever driven. It's got four-wheel drive, it's got so much traction off the corners. Flipping heck.
Well done, mate, well done. That was fantastic. Great driving. Really impressive to get to grips with it. It's a real beast, and to get to grips with it that quickly takes some doing, so fair play. And with the tyre rubbing as well, it's a little bit off-putting. I could feel on your last approach to Druids, the tyre starting to go off a bit.
Yeah.
It was kind of skipping a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll have a good look at them now and see. They seem okay, seem fine. Well done.
Flipping heck. Oh, by the way, I decided not to wear my posh helmet because there's lots of green roll cage around. I decided it's probably best not to. Right, I'm going to get out and then I'll give you some. We'll have a chat about the car.
Mate. So, I did try and introduce you in the car, but I'm not sure whether anyone will be able to hear anything in the car. This is Damien. Thank you so much for the invite today.
That's all right, no problem.
We hooked up online quite a few months ago, and I've been following you on your Facebook channel and seeing all the things you've done in this car, because you're a champion in this car now.
Yeah, BARC 2022 champion, so yeah. I get the coveted Wilkinson sword. So
that's amazing. So, tell us a bit about the car. We've now experienced it. First thing I want to say is, I thought it would be the most intimidating, scary car ever to drive, and actually, it's a bit of a pussycat. You have to respect it, but within a couple of laps, I really felt like I could accelerate quite hard and go through the gears and rev the gears out, and that's amazing.
That's the work of Stephen and Paul on the development of the car to make it easier to drive. There's no point in us making an 800 horsepower car that's an absolute pig to drive because you can't find the limit. You feel like you're on the raggedy edge all the time. So having it really nice and easy to drive means you can push that bit harder.
And I guess on a hill climb, because I did my hill climbing experience last year, I guess now. You guys go off the line, cold tyres, one run, very little practice.
Yeah.
You need a car that you can really trust. You don't want a car that's spiteful and is going to be a real bitch, I suppose. So.
Exactly that. So a DNF is a DNF. So you can travel half the country. You can go to Doon in Scotland and do a 9-hour drive from where I live, and you get one practice run or 2 practice runs and straight into timed runs. So if you have a niggle with the car, an issue or a mishap yourself, that's it. You had a bit of a wasted trip. So it has to be reliable.
So tell us about the engine. I'm going to spin the camera around while you talk about the engine. So what's under the bonnet, basically?
So it's an EJ22 Subaru Legacy engine. So it's bought out. It's built by a guy called Mike Latimer, who's actually in the Merchant Navy, and he builds engines in his spare time. All the internals are from a company called SMG. They supply the pistons and rods. It works out as a 2.3, so you put a 2.5 crankshaft in it, bringing it out to a 2.3. It develops with an AET Zona rotor turbo. It develops
that's a big snail.
Yeah, that's a big turbo. Yeah, so
how much? 800?
About 800 horsepower. So we're about to put it on the dyno at Surrey Rolling Road to see what it's actually making this year. We suspect that it's down on power because the engine's been in there 3 years. It's quite unheard of for a Subaru engine to do what this has done and be out every other weekend, breaking records all the time.
It's amazing, really. And then four-wheel drive.
Four-wheel drive, yeah. So it has a Samsonite sequential gearbox in it. It's a 6-speed sequential gearbox. It has an uprated rear differential, and then the centre differential is actually an active diff, so it's electronically controlled. So Paul, that does the ECU calibration, has it locking and opening certain differences. So when you're accelerating, for example, it will open and lock depending on where you are and what you're doing on a hill. We've actually looked at tracking it with GPS. So in certain places, you'd want the diff to lock and it's not doing it because the throttle's not in the right place or whatever. So Paul's looked at using the GPS to actually lock the diff in a certain part of, like Prescott, for example, where you've been.
Wow. Well, we're going to go and grab a coffee, but that was my first ever drive around Brands Hatch. And my first ever drive on slicks.
Yeah, and it was very spirited.
And I didn't bin it.
You didn't bin it very
I was
well.
very spirited apparently. So we want to have a coffee, and then I'd love for you to take me round with it, with the whip turned up.
Yeah, we will do. Sounds like a plan. Good stuff.
So we've had a coffee, we've had a sausage baguette, and we're about to head out on our second session. We're only doing a morning test today. Damien's going to drive this whole session, and we're going to wick the car up all the way up to 800 brake. So just putting some fuel in, really interesting. So he works with or sponsored by a company called Torco USA. And this is a pump fuel, but it's a specific blend of fuel that they produced for Damien's car, which is now available for other people as well. So this is producing 800 brake on effectively pump fuel. What was the octane on that again?
It's 102.
102 octane fuel, which is amazing. I was running it for a bit on 120 octane, which is just like mad. So yes, the coolest fuel refilling, all the pipes and stuff. So beautiful. We've also just made a few adjustments this morning, just adjusted the dampers, the rebound rates on the dampers at the back, because we were getting a little bit of grounding out coming through a couple of the compressions. That's what all the smoke was in the cabin. So we fixed that, and then we just dropped the tyre pressures at the front as well. I'm super pleased. When I came in from my session, having never driven around here before, never driven a car like that before, firstly I'm really pleased how on it I got. Damien was like, wow, you were really committed. I think I surprised him. I came in and I got lots of heat into the front slicks. These slicks, by the way, they are hill climb slicks. They are so sticky, it's unbelievable. And if you overdrive them, they'd be done in about 3 or 4 laps. So you have to be quite careful. But they just provide so much grip, it's amazing. So as soon as these Formula 4 boys are finished, we're back out again. I'm not going to drive again. I've only got 2 sessions today. Damien wants to do some testing, so we're going to basically test the car. I'm going to sit in and have a few laps, and I'm going to jump out, and he's going to go for some laps on his own to see what lap time he can get. Time to jump in the car. Turn the whip on, you turn anti-log on, it's unbelievable.
You felt the difference?
Oh, unbelievable.
Very, very responsive. That's why we're getting that oil pressure surge. It's never experienced corner forces like that.
Yeah.
Never on a hill would you experience G-forces like that.
Yeah. Woo. Right.
Let it cool down for a minute and then I'll go and do a lap by myself if that's alright.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just unbelievable.
Good, I'm glad you've enjoyed it.
Because what does the anti-lag, for those who don't know what anti-lag does, what does that do? Because it just felt so different when it was on.
It's a fresh air system, so it's a turbo smart anti-lag valve. It's very similar to the rocket system that the rally cars used to run back years ago.
Yeah.
So it's made by Turbo Smart, so it keeps the turbo spooling. It's a revolutionary system it's so advanced. It keeps the turbo spooling, and it's 1.3 bar off throttle. So it basically makes it off throttle. So
Wow.
we're hitting 2.8 bar at maximum boost, but 1.3 bar off throttle means that as you felt that instant pickup, as soon as you touch the accelerator, the power's there. There's no waiting for it at all.
No, it's unreal. I mean, because I noticed you turn the wick up and you turn the anti-lag on.
Yes. Both of them.
Those two things are quite dramatic, to be fair.
Quite a big difference, yeah.
Well, end of the morning session.
Yeah.
The car's still in one piece.
It is, yeah.
Which is
good.
always the best way to finish.
Yeah.
We did they waved a flag at you as you went past. What's that for?
Well, somebody wanted to hear what the anti-lag sounded like, so we turned that on. I'm not sure.
You know, we were saying about how amazing the anti-lag was and how it transforms the performance of the car. Unbelievable. The downside of anti-lag is it's quite noisy.
It is just
And I don't know. I mean, we came in and then you went back out again. And when you went up into Druids, there was a bang came out the back of the car. It sounded like a howitzer going on. And you did a couple of laps and then you went really slowly. I thought, oh no, the car's broken. It wasn't. It was because you've been black flagged for being too noisy.
Yeah. I had to come back in again. So,
Yeah.
well, Mr. Palmer did land up there in his helicopter,
He
possibly.
did.
So,
Yeah, maybe that was because that was it. He was there. Mate, I've got to say a massive thank you for
That's all right.
trusting me with
Thank
the
you.
car. But I think hill climbing for me is one of those motorsports that's just the skill levels, and it's not until you have a go at it. When I went to Prescott and had a go at it, you know, driving quick is hard, but driving quick on a course you probably only get a couple of practices at, on cold tyres, very little runoff, in an 800 horsepower car.
Great fun.
That's off to
Absolutely
you, mate.
brilliant. Really good fun.
And yeah, to see you drive around today, so it's been absolutely amazing. I'm going to put all Team Legacy's details in the description below. Give them a follow. You know, for these guys doing motorsport, following and sponsorship and all of those things is so important.
It is indeed, yeah. Keep
And
us
you
doing
are, you know, top of your game.
Thank you.
Winning championships,
Yeah.
going to award ceremonies. You've
Yeah.
got just casually, I've been invited to another award ceremony to pick up an award later on
Yeah,
this year.
yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah, it's good.
But yeah, no, mega. And thanks to Will as well, my mate who put us in touch.
Yeah.
Will was one of the guys I worked with on Vintage Voltage. So we did it, Will. We managed to get out in the
All
car.
good, all good.
And yeah, brilliant. I'm going to go home and remember my day with the Legacy. What a cool car.
Fantastic.
Oh, I just swore. I never swear on my channel. That shows how good the car is.
Yeah, excellent.
Mate,
Excellent.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, hope you enjoyed that. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come. Follow Team Legacy.
Thanks.
We need lots more followers. And see you on the next film.
Great stuff.
Should we get that car back on the trailer?
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
I forgot what I'd be now.